Hey, I'm Amy Cornell, your Texas broker with Front Real Estate, here to help you real estate better. I get some questions about seasonality and when is the best time to list. And I wanted to show you a couple of charts that I use or different things that I use for this. And so it shows here this like kind of bell graph of how annual home sales are in general in the US, South Midwest, like kind of where they all are. Um, and what you see is, yeah, there are more sales in the summer. I consider our really hot season to start in spring break, or in the North Texas region anyway. That really the hot season starts at spring break and it ends about the middle of July. And problem is if you list at spring break and you were wanting to stay in that school through the rest of the school year, usually it's not a huge problem. Like you stay in. Even if you've got to drive a little bit farther. If you are buying a house and you don't have it under contract by the middle of July, then it may be difficult for you to get into that school that you really want to by the time school starts in the middle of August. Not always, but that's really where I see the seasonality come in. It's not so much of like people like to move around more in the hot, anything like that. It is much more school related is what I find in my practice. Not always. But I will say you see this like downward trend towards the end of the year, and that usually is around people not wanting to list around the holidays. They're saying, if I can get it sold before I put my Christmas tree up, that's great. But after I put my Christmas tree up, I really don't want to have anybody come through my house. I don't want to have those pictures up that show my tree and all the decorations. I think I'll just wait. Okay, that's fine if you want to wait. But here's the thing. House looks real good for Christmas, right? I mean, it's like you just threw tinsel on everything and that's like jewelry. It looks great. So why don't you want to list it then? Because it's inconvenient, because you may be having a Christmas party or whatever. How often are you throwing Christmas parties? I mean, maybe once a season, maybe you're having family over, whatever. But y'all, really, listing your house over Christmas is not the worst idea. So I don't want anybody to think like, oh yeah, we just stopped doing business over Christmas because it is not a great time to sell. It can be a great time to sell. Because here's the thing. What buyers are coming out to look over the Christmas season? Real serious buyers. Nobody's just coming out and kicking tires over Christmas like they are in the summer. The summer, you'll see people come in and out of your house showing it a lot without actually any action happening on it potentially. But at Christmas, if those buyers are out, they are shopping because they need to get moved. Because that's what we see a lot of times, right? Or that these corporate reloads are happening right at the first of the year. And so people who are out in that month of late November and December, those are serious buyers. I also say that, yes, there are a lower amount of sellers out there in December, let's say, but there's also a lower number of buyers. So it's not like this situation where there's no buyers out there. It's really even, just like it is in the summer. So in the summer, we have more listings and more buyers, but in the winter, we just have a few less listings and less buyers, but it's still even. And so it helps keep pricing really steady all the way throughout the year. So it's not like, oh, I'm going to get an awesome deal in September. No, not really. You're not going to lose money operating in December. It just is what it is. It's just the seasonality of it is that there's a little bit less volume going through the market, but it does not make it a bad time to list. And so to me, there's never a bad time to list. Now, there might be a harder time to buy if you are somebody who is a very specific buyer and you want the most inventory to choose from. Well, then there is going to be more inventory in those summer months. So that might be something that you would want to consider. But otherwise, dude, list over Christmas. It can be the best time to move. So much cooler than in the summer. All right. Thanks so much.